Hi Anaplanners. This video is about building a hierarchical filter on the Anaplan UX. We'll be going through what that looks like on the Anaplan UX and then going through the steps on how to build it. I have already written about this in my blog and I'll be including a link to the blog in these video notes. So what is a hierarchical filter? Here you have a Anaplan UX page or a worksheet, and within that you'd have this grid or this worksheet that has a 5 level product hierarchy. Product hierarchy just rolls up into these different levels. On the right you'll have these filters, and the filters have all the levels within the hierarchy. So this is the product hierarchy, and you'd be able to select or deselect which levels within the hierarchy you would like to see. So for instance, I can just deselect maybe like that. And when I refresh, it'll show me all the products and those roll up into product types. I've also included a time hierarchy filter, and you can think of time as another hierarchy where weeks rolled up into months and then into quarters. So for instance, if I want to see the weeks per quarter, I'll just deselect month and you'll see all the weeks rolling up into the quarters. So how do we do this? Over here, I have just a normal model that I've been working on, and I've just created this section here for the hierarchical filters. So we look at the modules that deal with the product hierarchy filter. First of all, we just have a filter module, and this is where you can select what you want to see and not see. This is the same module that you get in the UX over here. A module to interact with. The next bit, which is the tricky part, is the actual workings for the filter. The first section is just a if statement that says if anything is selected within the filter module to output a number or the number of the hierarchy or zero. So this is what is used finally to see if something is selected or not. And the reason why there's a number against it is based on the second section that outputs the number based on the level of the hierarchy. The second section is more tricky. You'll have a line item for each level of the hierarchy, and then also you will dimension it by the level of the hierarchy. So this way, when you're looking at the entire report, depending on the level, will this formula apply. You'll have a technical line item, which is always one. And then for each level of the hierarchy, you'd summarize it by ratio. And within the ratio, you would select the level above it divided by the technical line item. So for instance, product name, the level above it was product line or P4 divided by the technical line item. Product line would be the level above it, which is product type divided by the technical line item. All the way up to product category, which is the first level. And in the first level, it would be just the technical line item divided by the technical line item. What does this do? You have this final calculation here. And what that does is it'll output a number regardless of the level you're on and show you what that level is. So 5 rolls up into 4, the 4s roll up into 3, etc. And then to 2, and then eventually to 1. So once you have this calculation, you can build the final filter. And the final filter says that if the number in product name is equal to the number in the actual filter, remember the filter outputs either zero or the number of the filter, and this or statement means whatever is selected, it'll output this boolean, and the boolean is what the filter is based on because it's on the same hierarchical level as the entire hierarchy. Make sense? And that is it. So this is quite a useful feature to have. I know that you can already do this within the UX itself, but there is a bit of a lag between going into the back end of the UX grid and then doing the filter there. This means that you can have like quite a quick turnaround between what you want to see and it actually showing in the UX. With the time filter over here, this is the section for the time filter. The same applies. I've included a start and end month as well. So that way, if you have a shorter, if you just want to see, for instance, January or the first half of January 20, it will show you that based on the start month and the end month. The same applies here. So you'll have a Boolean depending on what level of the time hierarchy you want to see. And then the filters apply in the same way. You'd have the true and false depending on how it shows. And then this section would have that same ratio where you sum up to the level above it. Same with the technical line item. I've included all periods here as well. With the start month and the end month, that's a different filter and that's quite straightforward. All that says is you filter between and you'll have this start is greater than the start month or is blank. Now this section is there in case you've forgotten to put an end month. It will just go to the last date, and the same with the end. And both of those are in this final filter that does the first bit of the filtering of the hierarchies and the second bit of the filtering of the start and end months. And that's it, pretty straightforward. So I hope you found this video interesting and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.